Welcome to the Mindset Coach podcast, brought to you by the Mindset Coach Academy. I'm Lara Young, your host and Master Certified Coach. Whether you're a seasoned coach or just starting your coaching career, this podcast is your go-to resource for all things mindset, coaching, and personal development. Each week, we bring you expert insights, practical strategies, and inspirational stories to help you become the best coach you can be. Our guests range from leading industry professionals to successful mindset coaches who share their secrets for creating lasting change. Plus, I'll be answering your burning questions and sharing tips from our ICF and multi-accredited Mindset Coach certification program. So, if you're ready to elevate your coaching game, stay tuned and let's dive into today's episode. Welcome back to the Mindset Coach podcast. Today we're getting brutally honest and beautifully hopeful about something almost every coach struggles with, and that's momentum. Not motivation, not inspiration, not energy, momentum. The thing that actually gets clients, grows your business, and builds your identity as a powerful and grounded coach. And the truth is confronting. 98% of coaches never hit sustainable momentum, not because they're not talented, not because they don't care, and not because they can't do it, but because they don't understand the hidden forces that steal their momentum, and they don't yet recognize the version of themselves who doesn't tolerate those leaks anymore. And in this episode, I'm going to diagnose the momentum leaks that may be keeping you stuck, show you how self-sabotage hides in plain sight, give you practical exercises to activate consistent growth, connect your everyday behavior to your future identity, and show you how to step into the 2% of coaches who actually grow year on year. And this couldn't be better timed because next week I'm opening something powerful inside my school community, the 2026 Coach Growth Activation. If you want 2026 to look different from 2025, if you want to grow your coaching skills, your confidence, your visibility, and your business, if you want to feel like you're moving forward instead of circling around, this activation is going to change things for you. But first, let's look at why most coaches never gain momentum in the first place. Let's start with something foundational. Most coaches think they lack motivation, but they're wrong. What they actually lack is follow-through structure and identity alignment. Motivation is temporary, identity is stable, and momentum sits in the middle. And most coaches fall into one of these momentum traps. Momentum trap 1, stop-start syndrome. You're on fire for 3 days. You create content, clean your desk, rewrite your niche statement, buy a new notebook, and swear you're ready. Then the spark fizzles. Self-doubt creeps in. Life gets busy. And your nervous system goes, no, thank you. Too unsafe. And you stop. For example, a confidence coach records 12 videos in one day and posts none of them. Why? Because production is safe and visibility is vulnerable. Momentum requires being seen. Momentum trap 2, perfection paralysis. You wait until everything is perfect. Everything is just so. Your website, your message, your strength as a coach, your brand colors, your logo, your module outline, your confidence. Everything must be just right before you act. Except that perfectionism stalls all forward motion. For example, a business coach has a fully mapped out group program but has never invited a single person to join it. Perfection is not the standard of the 2%. Consistency is. Momentum trap 3, planning instead of doing. You make gorgeous plans, color-coded Notion boards, Trello templates, 90-day goals, weekly intentions, full content calendars, but none of it ever makes contact with reality. For example, a mindset coach keeps mapping out her content plan, but hasn't created a single post in 6 weeks. You don't need more plans, you need activation. Momentum trap 4, identity conflict. This one is big. You want 2026 to be your growth year, but your identity is still anchored all the way back in 2023. You want to be more visible, but your identity is still, I don't want to bother people. You want more clients, but your identity is still, I don't know enough yet. Momentum can't exist where identity and behavior contradict each other. For example, a relationship coach wants to be fully booked, but still behaves like she's just getting started. Your business grows at the speed of your identity, not your to-do list. So let's get practical. Here's your momentum leak audit. Pause this if you need to or come back later, but do not skip it. Write down these things. Where did I lose momentum this year? What pattern kept repeating for me? Which emotions triggered the slowdown? What did these leaks cost me? And what am I no longer willing to tolerate in 2026? Let me give you a couple of examples so this feels real for you. Example 1, the overthinker. A coach wants to create a monthly workshop. She creates the outline, she tweaks the outline. Then she starts to question the niche, it needs refining. She re-records the intro. She tells herself, she's just streamlining, but the workshop never launches. The momentum leak here is overthinking disguised as preparation. Does that sound familiar to you? Have a question you'd like answered on the show? Or maybe there's a topic you'd love for us to dive deeper into? Reach out to us via social media or email us directly through our website. Your input helps us create content that's relevant and valuable to you. Remember, this podcast is here to support you on your coaching journey. So please do connect with us. We can't wait to hear from you. Example 2, the hider. A male executive coach signs one client, then disappears. Doesn't post, doesn't follow up, doesn't make invitations, because he's afraid he can't repeat the success. The momentum leak here is visibility avoidance triggered by imposter syndrome. This is the real work, because you can't build 2026 momentum on top of unexamined leaks. So here's the truth. The 2% of coaches who grow year after year aren't more talented. They're not better at Canva. They're not more articulate. They're not more confident. They don't have more time. They simply operate with 3 internal codes. Code 1 is identity before strategy. This is the 2% who decide who they are before deciding what they do. So, for example, this may look something like, I am a consistent coach. I am a visible coach. I am a coach who follows through. Identity determines behavior, and behavior determines results. Code 2, one growth focus at a time. The 2% don't try to launch, rebrand, run a summit, build a funnel, create a podcast, and learn TikTok all at once. They pick one priority every 90 days and they commit to it. For example, if your focus in a 90-day period is signing 5 clients, then everything else becomes optional. Signing those 5 clients and the actions related to doing that are the big rocks that go in your jar first. Everything else is the pebbles and the sand. And code 3 is minimum viable consistency. The 2% don't try to post daily or do a full content schedule or build 5 lead magnets. They choose the minimum amount of action they can sustain on their worst week, not their best one. For example, 2 posts a week, 1 email, 3 conversations. So often I see coaches setting themselves up for failure by overcommitting, under-delivering for themselves, let alone their clients. What we want is small, daily, sustainable, and repeatable actions that you can do, because that's exactly what creates momentum. So here are some simple activations that you can do to start building your momentum today. Activation 1 is the 10-minute start. Now, this is a really tried and true technique that I use myself. I pick the most important task. I set a timer for 10 minutes and I begin. And that's the key, right? The starting. Because momentum doesn't require completion. It just requires initiation. It requires that we begin. Activation 2 is the consistency contract. Write down in your notebook for the next 14 days, I show up even when it's uncomfortable. Sign it and put it somewhere visible. Because this is it. You really need to make sure that you're committing to yourself, and your nervous system needs that repetition, not motivation. It needs to know that you're going to keep going, that you are going to honor your promises to yourself, that you know, like, and trust yourself enough to keep going when the going matters. Activation 3 is the future self micro shift. Ask yourself, what would the 2026 version of me do with the next 5 minutes? And then do that. Not the you of last year, not the you of last month or last week, but the future you. What would they do? So one of the reasons that I created the 2026 Coach Growth Activation and why every coach should join it is because momentum is built now, not in January. This is the window. This is the time of year where coaches get honest. They start to feel urgency. They crave clarity. They want direction and growth, and they're open to identity upgrades, and they're ready to break those loops that they've been stuck in. And this is where the activation meets you. It's going to give you daily growth activations, clarity on who you serve, your 90-day growth focus, a simple momentum plan, simplicity is key here, a rhythm for visibility, a weekly CEO ritual, and a 2026 identity to grow into. We're not resetting here. I hear a lot of, 2025 reset, end of year reset. We're not doing that. We are activating. We are going to turn on the behaviors, the habits, and the mindset that create real growth in revenue, clients, confidence, and consistency. So if you want momentum in 2026, you've got to activate it now. So if this episode is hitting home for you, if you can feel yourself in the 98% and you're ready to step into the 2% who actually build momentum and grow, then I want you inside the 2026 Coach Growth Activation. Very simple. All you need to do is join us inside my school community for 10 days, one identity shift, one focus, one plan, and a future you'll be proud to grow into. This is where your 2026 begins. The link is down below. And remember that we have all of this inside our school community for you, not just during the growth activation, right throughout each and every year. So here's to becoming the 2%. And until next time, stay committed, stay courageous, and stay in motion. That wraps up today's episode of the Mindset Coach podcast. I hope you found it as inspiring and informative as I did. If you enjoyed today's show, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your fellow coaches. Your support helps us reach more people and continue to bring top-notch content every week. Remember, you can always learn more about our ICF and multi-accredited Mindset Coach certification program, our coaching membership, and other training opportunities by visiting mindsetcoachacademy.com. Thank you for tuning in and keep striving to become the best coach you can be. Until next time, this is Lara Young signing off. Stay motivated and keep transforming lives.